You're right, all. So I just wanted to reply verbally rather than orally to one or two people in the comment section. This has all been up, so and on and on and on. This has all happened because the Tories privatised most of the transport network, whether it's local bus service for the London to Manchester rail line. Uh, Again, you proved my point there. It's the Tories. It's the Tories. It's the Tories. You know, people like James O'Brien. What do you think Labour's going to do? Do you think Labour's going to have any real solution to any of this? Lib Labcon over the last 60 years, 70 years have got us to the point right now. All this, grow up. Going on about the Tories, just bore off. Grow up. Keir Starmer, was he not at the World Economic Forum meeting not long ago? They're all the same. Tony Blair, he had no end of things that he did to this country and the world. The Iraq War was under him. The initial invasion of Afghanistan, I think, in 2006 was under him. Might have been David Cameron, I might be incorrect on that one. But it proves my point again. Lib Lab Con, they're all the same. They're both the Tories, like I said in the video. You should love the Tories. All this transgenderism stuff is in schools is under them. 1.4 million migrants coming to UK last year was under them. You should love the Tories. Rishi Sunak, you've got an Indian in charge. Suella Braverman, Priti Patel. The most diverse cabinet in history under a female Prime Minister is Liz Truss. You should love the Tories. They're probably more left wing than bloody your Labour Party. And this twat here, random trains nobody cares about, complains about railways, some lack of capacity, etc. Then says it's about the immigrants, doesn't mention that HS2 could fix this. Actually makes me angry. Deleting all the immigrant. To get to that point first, right, you've proved me point again. I guarantee you, being some lefty, will be concerned about climate change, probably driving an electric car, probably agree with you, Les. But again, you're a complete hypocrite because you're more than content with building more and more houses. People are going to need more electricity, more fuel, more strain on the roads, so there's more resources being used to maintain the roads. You're going to bulldoze no ends of forests and fields in order to build your HS2. Well, what's HS2 going to achieve anyway? I was talking about the London Underground and a train journey from that was going from Plymouth to Plymouth to Leeds. So HS2 isn't going to achieve much unless you're going from Manchester to London. That's going to be a railway work for the elites, as you lot gone about. But was it the rich? The rich, as you lot called them. So again, you supposedly are against the rich. The rich want HS2 because it'll be them that's going to be using it. It won't be anything to do with us. What's this? Deleting all the immigrants won't do anything. Well, you're wrong because it would take a lot of a strain and we'd have more room, wouldn't we? And I wouldn't want to delete all the immigrants anyway. I'd rather keep the immigrants and get rid of people like yourself, lefties. The people who've got us to this point. I'd rather get rid of you, to be honest. Just racist. Well, it's your childish, overused, worn-out argument to everything. That word has become completely irrelevant now because of people like yourself who just come up with your little, rather annoying communist-inspired silencing technique. That's what racist should stand for. Just grow up. It's like being in a school playground, isn't it? Little buzzwords to silence people. Well, immigrants that aren't white probably aren't from Europe, are they? So, like you said there, assumes they're immigrants because they're not white. Well, I look at someone and I can tell roughly where they're from by their makeup of a face. If someone's black, I know they're probably from Africa. If someone's brown, they probably might be from the Middle East. If they've got slanty eyes, kind of pale skin or yellowy skin, they're probably from Oriental Asia. Google, I don't know, Chinese people, and I know what kind of person I'd be getting coming up in the images. It wouldn't be a black person. It wouldn't be someone with blonde hair and blue eyes, would it? Absolute morons. Right, it's not about the immigrants, it's a lack of capacity on the railway. Again, you're proving my point. So we just keep building and building and building until the whole of Britain looks like London, just some big urban metropolis with barely any countryside. That's your dream, and yet you'll be talking about climate change at the same time. Deporting all the immigrants won't fix it and isn't morally right. At no stage did I mention anything to do with deportation. That's something you mentioned. And like I've already said, I would much rather keep a good immigrant here and get rid of people like yourself, because as far as I see it, in my mind, people like yourself are traitors, and you don't have any respect for the country you live in, whether it be the countryside, whether it be the people that live here. You're more than content with squeezing more and more people into more and more heavily urbanised living environments with less capacity to move around. So a decline in living standards. That's because of people like you. So I'd happily get rid of people like yourself. The issue isn't the immigrants, it's a lack of capacity on the rail network. Build HS2. Again, another lefty that's proved my point. You don't care about the countryside or the climate. You'd happily import the whole of the third world in order to maintain your big dystopian global dream. You know, pray of James O'Brien as world leader or something, because you're just coming up with the same stuff he comes up with. Brexit, Tories, racism, it's the same thing over and over. It's the old worn out argument. Yep, I've had one or two people saying back in the day, you know, they struggled to get on trains. Trains were probably a lot smaller back then, and you haven't really argued against my point, which is common sense. There's a limited amount of room, and if you keep bringing more and more people into that limited amount of room, you'll run out of room. You imagine if something like what happened a couple of months ago, I think it was, when there was smoke building up inside one of the trams, and the amount of chaos that caused. So you're quite happy to ram loads of people in, and if anything happens, they won't be able to get out because they'll be squashed in, won't they? Won't be able to move. But that's on your heads. Like all the grooming gangs that happen across the country, going on about something different there. But you're responsible for that because you're happy with all this. You'd be happy with squashing 100 people into a little tram that was meant for 50 people, and if that caught fire, most people will get burnt, and you're responsible for that. You'd be responsible for that. Yeah, and that's that. So just a reply to a couple of lefty idiots. Yeah, that's that. So, oh, sorry, I'll just shut down the camera and then I saw this comment here. I'm an English Londoner, age 30, surrounded by middle class white liberals and immigrants, all brain dead. To be honest with you, mate, nice to have you commented on my channel. Like I've said before, the immigrants are actually more switched on than a lot of these middle class white liberals and the working class white liberals. They are brain dead. They're NPCs. They can be manipulated and brainwashed into anything. Yeah, fair play to you, mate. Nice to see someone stuck down in London anyway. And that's that. So.